Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, we are going to be covering how fun and awesome Countess Lix and Astralon can be when paired up to do fun things in some PvP arena, especially, I guess, one of the most commonly used champions on arena defense, which is Duchess Lilitu. In honor of the 10x events going on this weekend, coinciding with the 2x Sacreds, I thought it'd be fun to build a team around featuring Astralon and Countess Lix so we can see what they can do. But first, a quick word from this video's sponsor. You may remember the classic code like I do, up, up, down, down, left, right, BA. Well, after a 30-year hiatus, the Contra we know and love is back, aiming to bring the classic Contra experience to mobile platforms where players can enjoy classic side-scrolling gameplay, two-person teams, alien bosses, and the signature sounds from the classic series. Recognized that right away when I heard it because Contra is one of the longest running side-scrolling shoot-'em-ups that gamers have loved across generations since 1987. Contra Returns is now available on both Android and iOS devices with over 200 plus levels of intense action as players can engage in the single-player run-and-gun experience or go head-to-head in real-time 1v1 or 3v3 multiplayer action while choosing from more than 10 different heroes that you can fully upgrade and customize, featuring a massive arsenal of weapons. My favorite feature was definitely the nostalgia of the original sounds and assets like the victory screen and the infamous spread weapon. You can play Contra Returns yourself completely free of charge with the link below in both the vid description and also the pinned comment. Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about when we are putting together a team featuring Astralon and Countess Lix is what kind of team is going to work best for extracting consistent value out of this tandem. I do have a video yesterday going over my thoughts on the 10x and these two champions, kind of a refresher course on their kit. So since I just did it yesterday, I don't really want to do that again. But if you're curious about that video, I will link to it right there, and I'll link to it down below if you want to watch it after this one. But so Astralon can be a nuker, but Countess isn't really a debuffer. She doesn't have like buff strip to strip away shields to let Astralon nuke. She doesn't do defense break and weaken on an AoE, so she's not going to be some sort of like a Madame Ceres where you're going to have a preemptive debuffer to set up a nuker like Astralon. So that's like, you can use Astralon as a nuker, but for the tandem to work with Countess Lix for the context of this video, it doesn't really make sense to go with that comp to feature it. So I wanted to play something a little bit more defensive, and funny enough, I'm going to be kind of featuring countering Duchess and then using a Duchess myself, because Duchess Torment is going to give me a kind of a twofold way to have some defensive insurance, and then I also put one of those reaction pieces on Astralon to help make him survive, have a little bit higher chance to survive and convert some of those crits to being weaker hits. And I will say the one unfortunate thing about this tandem is that they are both the same affinity, which I wish they were. I wish they were complementary affinities. It'd be cool to make Astralon Force or something. I think he would fit the realm of being a Force affinity champion. So that would be fun if they were two different affinities. Unfortunately, that is something you have to pay attention to. They are both magic, but if you're using them to counter a Duchess, I guess that's handy because magic is strong against the Spirit Affinity Duchess, and I do think that is their selling point, is countering some of those Duchess, those Duchess arena defenses. It can be really strong against that, as you'll see in some of the footage I'm going to show you. Then quick before we dive into the footage of them kind of smashing through in the arena here, I do want to talk about the build really quick. So I went with Savage and prioritized Astralon as being the damage dealer of the team. And like I said, having one of these rings is super cool because you've got a chance to convert a critical hit into a normal if they're attacked before their first turn. So if I don't go first, there's a huge chance to mitigate a ton of that damage. And then the Divine Crit is going to provide a little bit of shields as well. I've got the Duchess there for revive and the Torment to kind of help stop them from getting a turn. So it's gonna make me be able to sustain in the fight and make it to the point where I can take advantage of that Savage set. If you want to see the total stats on my Astralon, here it is. You do need the accuracy, so that's why I went with the accuracy banner and all of that to pair with the the Savage set here, because he does want to place some of the stuns and do some of the different debuffs here on the A1, and then you got to remove buffs from them. So if you're using him to counter the Veil here, the Veil and the Perfect Veil of the Duchess, it is nice to have accuracy to remove all of those buffs and then do all of the other stuff that he is trying to do alongside the nuking capabilities of him. But other than that, it's a pretty normal damage build. The crit damage amulet and the crit damage gloves, we're going full out glass. I couldn't quite make it to the perfect threshold, so I would want to min-max my gear a little bit better, but I was trying to rip apart as little champions as I could, so not perfectly optimal and still some room to grow, but for throwing something together here this weekend to showcase this build, it was definitely functioning well enough. And if you want to see the masteries that I went on for Astralon, it was kind of your par for the course arena damage dealer masteries there, obviously featuring the Helm Smasher is one of the best damage dealing masteries in the game, and then the ones up over there to take advantage of the arena like first hit and that type of stuff for Astralon here. Then for Countess Lix, she does have 2 of the AoE abilities, so I went with the stun. We're playing kind of a suppressive team with Torment already, so just to work with that, I went ahead and paired up the stun set here with Countess because she does have the 2 AoE abilities. She needs a lot of accuracy because a lot of her kit, the decreased speed, the block active skills, the A1 is going to be doing some debuffing as well. Astralon has the defense break, and then Countess has the weaken, so she definitely needs accuracy. That's why I prioritized it on the masteries. You can see the eagle eye down there. It would have been great to take Fearsome Presence and pair that with the stun set, but I had to get her accuracy as high as possible. If I had this up at like 400 something, I would probably take Fearsome Presence, but with the build I was kind of going for and the way it worked out, I wanted to make sure and take that eagle eye to prioritize the accuracy because that's almost an even bigger priority than the stun set. And a key note to consider when you are building a Countess Lix Astralon team is this ability right here, the time dilation, where you see it says also decreases the cooldown of all ally skills except this champion's by 1 turn. So having Countess Lix be the lower speed and going towards the back of your rotation is going to get a little bit more consistent value out of that. If you have her go first, for example, her decrease cooldown of all ally skills is not really going to take effect because if she's going first, your allies won't have anything on cooldown yet. So that is something you definitely want to take note of when you're building any sort of Countess Lix team. But now let's do the fun part and show some of the footage here from the arena. I've got a couple fights to feature, and you will definitely see the impact that Astralon can have. And worth noting, I didn't even book him, and I was still getting a lot of impact from him. If I went through and booked Astralon, right there you see, boom, the AoE, pretty decent damage dealing ability with the AoE stun can bring insane value. And you see a couple battles here where it completely changes the tide, and Astralon just completely owns the Duchess by removing all of the debuffs, and then not only that, but placing the stun and also doing pretty solid damage. So the tandem here is able to kind of get a lot of value over the course of a fight for sure once you've got a few turns going. This was a tough team. So this was like a 300,000 power team or something, I want to say. I don't remember exactly. But with the double revive here and the Krisk and the Turvald hitting super hard, they had pretty good gear. It was tough for me to do anything to the high resistance Raglan here. Usually Raglan's a champion that doesn't need any accuracy, so whenever you go up against Raglan, she's going to be very sturdy, and she has one of the best like most reliable single revives in the game with the miracle ability that she has. So she's very sturdy and brings very consistent revives. So this one was oh, and then you see Astralon has that ability where when he gets a kill, he's gonna revive, and when you build him to do pretty good damage, you actually end up. I got value out of Astralon's revive a lot more often than I thought I would. I thought that would be like, oh, that's gonna be super rare when that happens, but I ended up seeing that proc in a lot of different fights where, you know, like right there, Countess would fall over or something, and then Astralon would go ahead and get a kill eventually and pick her back up. So I actually surprisingly do get value out of that ability a lot more than I thought I would. Yep, see, there's that Raglan revive coming through. That's why double revive teams can be kind of tough to deal with in the arena, especially when you've got really good champions paired with them, like a Krisk or something. It's just very hard to do enough to get them both down, and that's like why this battle takes kind of a long time. I was trying to let it ride through on auto and kind of see what would happen here with the tandem. Once Lix lands something super impactful like that, the 3-turn block active skills, it gets a lot easier. So I switched the target over here to Raglan. The decreased speed, the AoE decreased speed coming in huge from Countess right there. the triple hitter that that does AoE decrease speed. And it's a matter of time. We're kind of whittling him down there. We've got lots of suppression coming through with the with the double suppression champions with the Torment and the Lix. That damn revive coming through from Raglan, and this is the point where I was like, oh, am I ever gonna win this one? But and then we get the of course we get the unkillable proc there on Raglan too. Why not throw that in there? Finally, Astralon falls over. So you can see here, I purposely picked a tough fight for the video because I thought it would be a fun one. And then finally, I'm starting to snowball here. We get the stun down on the blind seer, and now it's pretty easy. And boom, now we just gotta whittle away the Krisk. And then after this one, you'll see some of the crazy fights where Astralon just gets insane value against some of these Duchess that you're gonna come up against in the arena. Okay, so here is going to be one where, okay, so there's all of the craziness that Duchess does, and Astralon is not having it. Boom. Look at that. Removing, like, 15 debuffs, and also placing the stun over there on the right. If he were fully booked, it would be even way better than that. So you can see the insane impact that Astralon is able to have going up against a Duchess in the arena. A very good option for dealing with Duchess defense teams. Once you get that much value, it's just a matter of time and whittling them down. And I believe there'll be like one more example of the Astralon craziness here. Yeah, here we go. Got another fight coming in. We got the block active skills over there on the Astralon. That's not good. But we also did the same thing to their Duchess. So you can see we're both. This was a fun one to include. We're both kind of using the Duchess Astralon theme here. Once we got the Duchess down, though, I knew I was good. And they're using the Duchess Candrafon, which is a very commonly used pairing for sure. But when you've got someone like Astralon to remove it, that helps a lot to remove those veils. Now, this is going to be crazy. We've got Duchess Siphi, but look at this. Boom. We're removing all of that, removing about, what, 11 or 12 debuffs there, doing a bunch of craziness, and makes it a lot easier to deal with something that would normally be extremely tough with the Duchess Siphi. Is a very insane tandem there on defense. But because of the value that we got from that first initial wave of Astralon, we're going to be able to slowly kind of deal with them. There we go. Land a couple decreased speeds. That's always massive in the arena. And then obviously once they're down, it's a pretty simple fight from there, and it's just again whittling them down for the win. There's the stun coming through from Astralon, and then we are able to take it down. So that will mostly cover it for what I wanted to do with this one, was just have a more in-depth discussion because of the 10X going on this weekend, and show you some fun footage of my testing in the arena and some of the shenanigans that were going down with some of those fights, trying to get some value out of Astralon and Countess Lix. So if you are watching this right away, I am going to be live over on Twitch. It is September, and I've got lots of crazy perks going on, so I hope you'll stop by and say hi. The link will be down below. I'll be live for a few hours if you would like to come over to Twitch and join us. So as always, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Peace.